All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Today, we're going to be playing around with some India ink, some Chinese ink, banking off of what we did in the last video, playing with the wet and wet, and probably just exploring to see how dark we can get this wash to happen. So here's a photo I'm loosely going to base this off of. We have our quarter sheet of Stonehenge Aqua, and we'll get started. So, with this paper, 140 pound cold press. As it saturates, we'll set up our ink, and I'll also be live streaming this on Twitch. So let's get that going. And I'm just checking the video feed over here. It should be good. We really don't need that much ink. Well, we might need more, but we'll see. And of course, my Kindle always has a little trouble with the live broadcast, but I like to be able to see in real time what the video is recording. So let me just get that going. Should be good. Are we good in both directions? Yeah. I don't know if the video had stopped. It might have. I'm sorry about that, everybody. Anyway, so get the paper nice and wet. Yep, everything's working. We got Hammy, the cat, hanging out with us. He is messing with one of my mats, but he's a good cat. Alright. We'll use this Chinese brush. That's a combination of the stiff hair and the soft hair. They'd probably just call it a Chinese combination brush if you were to try to look for one specifically. You could also use a round. Probably use the hake as well, or the squirrel mop. But we'll just go with this guy. Okay. So it amazes me how much gradation we get once we start going with wet and wet with this ink. We do get quite a drying shift, so today's main focus is really playing with how dark can we really go. Let's see. I want to leave a little light area for reflection, maybe some color. The paper is buckling, so let me flatten it out. Let me grab more paper towel. Okay, some more ink. I do have the little kind of sushi soy sauce tray, which I might use if I need to thin things out, but I really don't think that's going to be the case. Sorry about that. clouds. Having played with this earlier with the wet and wet, and knowing that that drying shift is going to take place, it's perfectly fine putting it in this dark. Let me turn off the sound. There we go. Okay, let's flatten that. Okay, so I already see the drying taking place in some areas. I wonder if the ink itself, what it consists of and how it affects it. There might be some sort of shellac in it. I'm not sure. I know that that's one of the reasons you leave India ink, Chinese ink out of fountain pens, is because of some hardening agents. Just not sure. But like right here, looks almost perfectly dry. And you all saw how much water I put down. Let's use our spray bottle, which has, for some reason, given up the ghost. Which it does have a really interesting effect, this streamline that's taking place. However, whenever you start having something that's doing something unique like that, it's not really mimicable. Like if this suddenly starts working down the line, if I wanted to use that effect, then what would I do? Let's see how lifting looks. I might even wind up putting the telephone poles in this final image. Let's see what type of gradation we could get in this sky. Now, earlier today I did talk about two potential ideas, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it or committed to it in this video yet, but I thought we could either play wet and wet and continue to progress with this painting as it dries, just adding up that darker tonal value, kind of like a watercolor painting, or we could do the dry off with the blow dryer and then completely paint over it again with this ink. And I don't know if I committed to one of them earlier, because obviously I'm raising that question right now, but now I'm saying that I'm going to keep on, I'll just kind of go with the flow. We'll make a decision. I just wish it would be able to stay this black. I mean, you're getting that reflection right there in that video. Let me see if I move the camera. This light, how it affects it. No, that light doesn't affect it, but this light does. Yeah, and you could see it without that reflection right there, how dark it gets. That's nice. Now I was thinking, I had just, today's Saturday, so it's kind of a relaxing day. I was like, let me take a bath. And I was thinking, and this is probably common sense for some of y'all, we could just use an ink wash, a waterproof ink wash, to tone paper. We could probably also take the Dr. Phil Martin paints, inks. Let me go grab one just to show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. I grabbed just a regular color. We could grab these light fast and waterproof inks, which Hobby Lobby, $6. I think Michael's is a little bit more expensive. It's pigmented India ink. Holds a line without spreading, which they call feathering with some inks and papers. Non-clogging, non-toxic. I wonder if we can use this. I mean, you see how it's settled at the bottom, so let me shake it up. I'm not going to use it in this one, but I wonder if we could tone paper with this. Kind of do, like I had mentioned in the previous video, grisaille or grisaille, where it's an underpainting, monochromatic, and then watercolor on top. Or we could even tone our paper with a yellow or a red or a blue, anything like that, and have a kind of uniform color that would shine through. Anyway, sorry for how like kind of speculatory this video is, but it's the second video of the day, relaxing weekend, and I'm holding off making that commitment of the dry off versus progressively working darker and darker as it dries. I really don't want too much brushstroke texture here. I want it to be soft and diffused. Silhouette of a tree, which I started putting in the very beginning, just throwing that dark paint in there. A little bit more. This should probably be the last bit we need for this one. But even when I was doing the Chinese painting, where It was an incorporation of Chinese watercolors and the Chinese ink. I don't think I ever finished a whole bottle of this ink, so it really does go a long, long way. And there's a lot of different brands that make the India and Chinese inks. And I'll upload this video onto YouTube or Patreon. I apologize for there not being too much talking during it, but it really is just a subtle build-up in the gradation or the tonal values. Here you can see how much water is still pooling, and I would hate to use a blow dryer to affect those beautiful effects. Even a hair right there. Dang it. I think what might wind up happening with this one is that we paint. Okay, so time to make an executive decision. The executive decision is this. I'm going to continue to paint as we're wet and wet. Any fuzzies that got trapped, I'll remove when it dries. And I will not dry in with the blow dryer due to that beautiful marbling that's happening right there. I'm going to bring it close to the camera. It'll probably adjust and refocus, so hopefully it doesn't hurt your eyes. But I don't know if you can catch that and see the texture that's taking place. But that's just fantastic. I wonder also with just ink as an underpainting for oils and how that would affect it. I think we do need some textured brush effects here. I'd wanted that softness, but it's going to be unfortunately a little bland. But if you're using maybe a universal ground, which is the more common ground on the canvases or panels, and not just like an oil specific gesso, you could probably ink over that and then oil on top. You having fun, Hammy? Let's see. I think it's best that we stop at this point with this painting. Just because, like I said, I want to preserve those areas. So I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to upload this as a video, like a part 1, and then we'll do a separate part 2 when it's dry of we'll do a separate part 2 of maybe watercolor over it. Maybe we might even take the pigmented inks over it, but we'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for part 2 with this one. Check me out on YouTube, Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Plenty of paintings up on Etsy if you're ever interested in purchasing any. And please consider supporting me on Patreon. Yeah, so I think that's YouTube, Etsy, all those other fun things. All right, I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great day.